Hello and welcome to BioFit with us, episode 81, with myself and Shannon, whose full head is on the screen today, which is always a benefit. Shannon, how are we?
Good. I don't know why my head comes off the screen. Like, I don't move from this one particular spot on the couch because that's all I can sit at.
I think you're just getting more and more comfortable on that couch and your head's just
Yeah,
not
it's a
filling.
recliner, so I feel like I'm maybe subconsciously leaning back.
It's like your uncle when he does that trick where he's going down behind the couch, where he just slowly starts to go down further and further and further. Um,
I'm just making the visuals good for the podcast.
that's it. Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard when I'm clipping them and I'm like, you can see me and Gary's head, and you see half of your head sticking.
My little egghead just bobbling away.
I've tried. I'm really testing my editing skills. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and your internet's
Wondering
gone.
why I was cross.
Oh, your
Oh no.
strong start to the podcast. Um,
Sky, we came to you because you said you were better internet, and look at this nonsense.
I'm gonna pause us till we sort this. After a brief pause, we think we have temporarily sorted Shannon's internet by hoping for the best. Is really the solution we've put in place.
And that's not usually what we like to do, but hey ho, needs must.
Hey ho. Cool. Shannon, anything going on in your world?
Ah, jeez, I slept it this morning. Not like me, but was up most of the night just waking to pains in the old ovaries. I'd say everyone's sick of hearing about my wee ovaries.
Oh, I did ask the question.
Yeah.
Have you been back to the doctors to see if they can?
No, because I can't get into a doctor till next week. So that's 3 weeks ago I made the appointment.
You're not phoning up just asking for emergency appointments and stuff?
Um, Not the doctor that I want.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, you can get an emergency appointment, but it's with someone usually that's never dealt with you before, and then you have to start going into all the other details. I'm like, nah, just give me the one that knows the crack at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so
Where do I start with my life story for this 5 minute appointment with you? Like, no.
it's funny, Jen being diabetic, the amount of times that we were at hospitals, doctors, and everything else, like were pregnancy checkups, and every single time you're having to recite the same, this is what's happening, this is the medications, this is whatever. I'm like, do we not have a general folder and file that like this stuff's like on? Like, surely to God.
Surely you think if they put your name into the database, there's a file on it to tell you this is X, Y, and Z. And would you not review that before the person comes in? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'd assume that's what should be done.
Yeah. Um, anyway,
Anyway,
anything else happening?
not a whole pile. We're very busy at the moment in the biofitness life. But other than that, my life is nice and quiet, and that's what I want. What about yourself?
Not quite. Also
Oh,
not pain. Also not pain free. I've absolutely fucked my back doing front squats. I'm not going to lie. It's Monday morning. I went to CrossFit. It's not really a big part. The running volume's been high, which is okay. But I woke up Monday and I was really tired, and I was like, "Oh, did I go or did I not?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure, it's the last session I'm going to be doing before High Rocks next week." Like, as in like the last training session. I went and it was front squats, and it's like just getting progressively heavier. But my stomach wasn't feeling great all morning. It was early in the morning. It was like 5:30. I woke up and it just wouldn't settle. And I think it was my second rep of like putting a decent bit of weight on it. I felt like I was going to shit myself.
oh,
I didn't know whether to like tense harder or just loosen for a second, and I kind of loosened, and I felt having to get back up from the front squat. I felt it straight away. My back was like I felt a sharp pain in it, but of course, being stupid, I decided to go for a second or a third rep, and just keep it tight. And I felt it again even tighter. But I wasn't able to get to bed on Tuesday. I decided I was going to try and go for a run on Wednesday just to see if I could loosen it off. Even worse, today I can barely move it. Like I'm literally in agony. I've not taken painkillers in about 10 years, but I've started taking them. I'm like, the concerns are pretty high at the moment.
oh. No, that sounds woeful. Have you been taking Solvadine? That's a really good painkiller.
I don't know what I'm taking. It's like
That's
stuff that's in the drawer, like whatever.
probably gone off at this point. You know, medicine goes off like.
Nah, it's grand. It's fine. Yeah.
I'll buy you a box of Solvadine and you'll be all better.
Probably what caused my problems in the first place was going off chicken or something. So like going off has been the answer.
The team of you.
Yeah.
The
Um,
running's good, Joe. You're getting close to a sub 20.
I could have done a sub 20. It's just it's I'm convinced I have done a sub 20 before because when I ran my fastest 10k was 42 minutes and I'm like to get 42 minutes realistically I'd be running up there or thereabouts to like 20 minutes per 5k. So I'm like I'm convinced I wasn't really recording my runs at that point in terms of what they looked like, but I'm like surely if I'd done that time then I've probably at some point done a sub 20. Not that it's the goal right now, but I think the frustrating thing is the fact that training was going really well, and now at the moment I can't fucking walk. I took Rocky a walk right now, and I'm like, I've got 6 days to try and sort this out, and I'm like, not ideal whatsoever.
A bit of yoga and Pilates should fix that.
Anyway, we're going to talk today about general misconceptions when it comes to fat loss. So, Shannon, I'm going to throw something out there first and
Okay,
see what your thoughts are. So,
go for it.
weight loss is just about eating less.
No, there's a lot more in it. Like the idea of fat loss being literally, yes, you do have to eat less calories, but there is like you could lose weight, but you mightn't look better for losing just weight. Like there is three kind of elements when it comes to fat loss that most people don't look at. So you have the fat loss tools, which is calorie deficit, moving more. But you will just be a smaller version of yourself. You won't be what you're visualizing you're going to look like at the end of that journey. That's where training comes into it, and that's where particularly weight training comes into it because that's how you break down muscle, build it back up, and that's given that tone physique. A lot of people kind of either focusing on one or none. Like they don't seem to take all three into considerations, I find. Especially no offense to women, but they tend to just focus in on I'll drop my calories really, really low. That will drop the weight on me. And then I'll do a shit ton of cardio because that will also burn a heap of calories. And they're just focusing too much in on the calorie side of it instead of actually wanting to have more energy, look better, feel better overall. Um, so it's a no, but it is technically true, but there's more to it.
Agreed. I think if you're talking about weight loss by itself, like the studies are fairly clear in the sense that you can eat less, and as providing you're providing you're still in a deficit. Sorry, you if you eat less, technically you're going to drop weight. What tends to happen though is when you look at eating less, some of the small things that happen that you don't see. So like the expressions that you make, the little hand gestures you make, you just need to look at somebody who's deep into prep of bodybuilding on low calories and high expenditure, and you look at they don't fucking smile. Like not just because they're miserable, but because they physically can't spend the energy on smiling. They don't move. They don't fidget. Like your body will try and conserve energy in ways that we're not sure, which is actually sometimes why people who are on 1,200 calories actually lose less weight than people who are on 1,400 calories, and it's because that extra 200 calories is the unseen things. You'll still do a little bit more. Your training intensity will be higher. You'll be able to fidget a little bit more. Your metabolic rate will be better. Your sleep will be better. Like all of those little unseen things burn calories, but to an extent, and they had done the study back in before, what's it called? Health and safety laws and efficacy was a thing where they tied, I think it was like 20, the sample size was small, but like I think it was like 25 people to beds. So there was no expenditure over the course of 5 days and gave them, I think it was like 1,400 calories each. Every single one of them lost weight. Like, so the I think the studies are clear that it does work, but at the same time, like you are doing damage to your metabolism as well because you're going to hemorrhage a bit of muscle mass as well. So it's not something I technically recommend. I would be like more clever about your calorie deficit. And actually, to extend the point even further, I think a lot of people can actually, if people actually just track their food accurately and like I got better at tracking their food accurately, I think you'll find that the number that you can lose weight on is far higher than what you think it is.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you're science guy.
Science guy.
Science guy with his studies and everything coming out. I'm just spitting facts.
The way my throat's feeling right now, I feel like I'm just spitting. I'm just like everything feels
Oh,
very.
you're chesty too. We're all getting sick. Poor Gary's not here today because he's sick.
I can't afford to get sick right now with my back and with my like. I almost snapped my ankle 2 weeks ago, my back last week, and then I've got sickness coming on. I can't. This just can't happen. I ain't got time for it.
2025, good luck to you. You've not been a nice year.
No. See you later, pal.
Roll on 2026, new year, new me, all that jazz.
Um,
Yeah, I'm going to spit one at you now. General misconception and see what your thoughts are on it.
okay.
Carbs make you fat.
um,
The little evil laugh.
yeah. So you should cut out carbs if you want to be miserable. Yes, because carbs taste good. They're the body's primary energy source, and it's to a large extent like it's what fuels your training and your recovery. So, if we actually look at like calories, like if you're in a calorie deficit, like you'll lose weight regardless of whether that's made up of carbs, fats, proteins. And the key is being in a calorie deficit. What carbs do and what most people get misconceptions of is they hold water. And when they hold water, the more carbs you have, like for every 100 grams of carbs you have, you hold on to about half a kilo of water. So most people will consume probably between 1 and 300 carbs per day on average. That's the difference of like a kilo to a kilo and, it's a half a kilo to a kilo and a half worth of water weight. Now you add in a weekend to that where people eat even a little bit more loosely than that, and all of a sudden you're holding an extra kilo worth of water weight. So if you're looking at short-term scale fluctuations, yes, the more carbs you eat, then what will give you a bit of feedback is you're holding more weight. Is that body fat? Absolutely not. So it's just water retention that you're holding. Calories, to an extent, are all the same. There is a little bit of difference in protein in terms of like it actually has slightly less calories than the 4 calories it's claimed to be. So there is a little bit of a kind of caveat to that, but that's a conversation for another day. Like all calories are more or less equated to numbers, and providing your numbers are in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight and body fat.
Yep. I think a lot of people assume carbs are a very fatty kind of source as such, when really they actually have a super important function. Because if you don't eat your carbohydrates, you will notice you'll be very forgetful and brain fog, and the energy is going to be super low. So they are vital. If you ever met a bodybuilder, again, a lot of them, God forgive me for saying this out loud, when they're in peak prep, are a little more ditzy than they would be because they're not as sharp. And that's because they're reducing the carbs to get to that leaner physique. That's just my personal but humble opinion of anybody that I've met in peak and bodybuilding. They get a little more like ditzy is the best way I would describe it.
I'll give you an example of somebody we actually know on this. Actually, was it your photo shoot potentially? We done yours in Keane's place, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he forgot the keys that morning. Is that right? The same morning I'm thinking about. He didn't turn up with the keys when he was meant to turn up with the keys. Am I right in saying that?
Well, I don't know because I also didn't turn up on time for my photo shoot because I had a panic attack. So I wasn't there when that happened.
I think so. I think at the time, if I'm right in saying this, your photo shoot was about 2 weeks before Keane's photo shoot, his own one. And I think at the time, Keane had asked for like a bodybuilding coach to help get him in shape. And at the time, Keane was on like something daft. It was like 1,100 calories with like an hour and a half worth of cardio a day. And
I vaguely remember this. Yeah, like he was on the little bit more ditzier side back then.
yeah, man, the reason I bring it up is like Keane is probably one of the most like you wouldn't he'd be switched on enough to these type of things. He wouldn't let people down. But I remember saying to him, I was like, look, we've got Shannon's photo shoot. I remember messaging him the night before, going, still good for tomorrow. And he was like, yeah, whatever. I turned up in the morning, he wasn't there. And I'm like, I gave him 5 or 10 minutes because Keane's never late for anything. I wasn't at the time. And I was like, he's not here. So I phoned him and he's like, well, what's happening? I was like, you could tell straight away. I was like, mate, photo shoot's happening. And he's like, oh fuck, completely forgot about it. And then you see him and I'm like, man, that boy's on survival mode. That boy has not seen a carb in, don't know, about a month. Like you see his eyes all sunken and you see that and you're going, yeah,
I
brain.
actually do recall that he looked sickly almost because your man had him on like ridiculous calories for that photo shoot.
Yeah, I had people asking if he was all right because they knew I was his mate because he was putting Instagram videos out at the time. I was like, I think he's all right, just no carbs, mate.
Is he on drugs?
We'll not throw accusations around on the podcast, but
No. We love you, Kean, if you listen.
he doesn't listen. But
No, he doesn't.
he should listen, but he doesn't. Anyway, like next one. Was it my turn or your turn? My turn. Oh, it's my turn.
Your turn, because I was talking about carbohydrates, and then you actually made a really good point, though, that the source matters.
Yeah. So, are all calories the same then?
No, no,
Oh.
no, no.
Oh.
No, 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 my dear. 200 like calories of vegetables, and I know there's going to be people that are like, ugh, vegetables, grow up. Um, is going to do a lot more for you than that bottle of full fat Coke. Sorry, AJ's probably going to correct me. It's not full fat, it's full sugar. Uh, but you could have like a full sugar Coke. That's about 200 and something calories. That probably you'd have that drank maybe in about 5 minutes if even. 200 calories of vegetables is going to be a lot more filling for you. It's going to benefit you overall, and it will produce more energy than that sugar rush you're going to get from the bottle of Coke as such. That is probably my best example I can give right now because I've also not had coffee right now. But there is a huge difference, even when it comes down to like protein and processed protein. Like you will find the kind of benefits from fresher kind of foods with kind of high protein, lower calories are going to be more beneficial than the processed high calories, fuck all protein. It's just going to be an absolute disaster for your overall body. And it doesn't really help with the fat loss side of things because it's going to then take ages to process it through your body. Whereas fiber, protein, your carbohydrates, they move a lot quicker.
I think when it comes to like eating processed foods and eating like you could get, let's just take 2,000 calories for simple maths. You could get 2,000 calories a day and you can spread that out through high voluminous foods. Like if you had oats for breakfast and potatoes and something for lunch, and then you have a rice variation for dinner and you've got veg in there, like you're not hungry as much, and the biggest thing that people tend to do in terms of building calories up is like the eat and the snack, and particularly towards the evening time. So I think management of blood sugars, energies, everything like that, you can have 2,000 calories worth of food that are digest better and keep you fuller for longer, or you could theoretically, and like if 2,000 calories is a deficit for you, you could theoretically have 2,000 calories worth of Domino's pizza a day, and you could have that rationed out. 2,000 calories worth of Domino's pizza is probably about 3/4 of a large pizza. You could ration that out throughout the day. You could have 2 slices for breakfast, 2 slices for lunch, 2 slices for dinner, and a slice for a snack. If that's all you're having, 2,000 calories. But at the same time, once you have that in the morning, you're going to start to feel super hungry, like an hour later, because it doesn't give you what you need. If we actually look at going back to Manjaro, what Manjaro does is it slows food down in your system. Eating processed foods literally digest and don't really give you anything from them, so you're just constantly feeling hungry. So it's like the opposite of that, which is why I would say try and have 80% of your calories coming from good, clean, whole sources. and 20%, yes, you can have party time, but like 80% of the time, you'll feel fuller for longer and you'll not be eating like a dickhead.
Yeah, like you do find from time to time people don't want to do the whole food side. They're like, no, I have my calorie deficit and I'm going to stick to the foods that I like because God forgive me, grown children is what I'm seeing, like goujons and chips for dinner. And I'm like, yeah, you can actually, if you can fit them into your calories, that's super. But don't be crying that you're hungry an hour later and you can't understand why, like when you refuse to even look at a vegetable.
I didn't eat a vegetable till I was 27, 28 years old. So I can get on the bandwagon with people who are not into veg. However, what I would say is, since I have been converted, I'm like, the way I feel is so much better. I used to be tired. I used to go to bed tired and wake up tired, and I would survive on 5 cans. Like, I'm not joking when I say I was 5 cans of Monster per day, and that's not the. That's because I didn't like coffee. So MD who's sitting there going, well, that's excessive. Like, well, what's the difference between me drinking 5 cans of Monster and somebody drinking 7 coffees? Like, it's the same amount of caffeine. So, with my little bit of defensiveness there, what I would say is nowadays, like when I'm eating veg, I don't need 5 cans of Monster. Like, if anything, I'll probably have a can every 3 days or something in a coffee. I still drink the reasonable amount of caffeine, but it's nowhere near the reliance on that. So if you're
Or for
wanting,
taste.
yeah, if you, well, all Monster tastes like shit now, which is why I don't really drink it. But I think when it comes to you looking and because food doesn't just control how you look, it controls how you feel, and a lot of time your feelings are what controls what you put into your mouth as well. Like, nobody goes on a binge of 5,000 calories because they're feeling great. It's often because there's an association with either feeling disconnected, not getting enough time for themselves, or feeling hungry. Like, there's a lot of that. Like, it's a very deep and nuanced thing, but I think with that, yeah, like, it's eating more nutrient dense food. And let's be fair, we're at the first time in human evolution where we've actually got food in abundance. Like, we're having to deal with the fact that there's fucking years and years and years of our ancestors not having food, so we're programmed to want good tasting foods. But goujons didn't exist 200 years ago, mate. So, like, of course you want them, but at the same time, if you are constantly eating them, then there's a good chance that you're going to get chunky and a little bit less funky.
Amen. Actually have a quick question for you off topic. Well, slightly on topic, but off topic. Would you prefer fruit or veg now?
Um,
I feel
so
like you're either one or the other kind of person.
I'm not, to be honest. I have either frozen fruit or a banana in my oats in the morning. And then throughout the day, I'll have probably 2 or 3 portions of veg, and then I'll have blueberries on my, like a yogurt in the evening for the large extent. So I'm probably getting 2 to 3 portions of fruit, but like 3 to 4 of veg per day. So, and being honest, I quite like the fact I could just grab a bag of sugar snaps or carrot sticks or whatever, and I can just chew away at them. I used to do it with broccoli more frequently, but broccoli,
Mm.
fucking price of broccoli these days, I'm like, oof, yeah.
And peppers. And if people don't believe, I've seen it with my own eyes. This man has jumped into my car and just started fucking munching on like raw vegetables. And I'm like, okay.
I honestly don't see the problem with this. Like,
Nah, I'm just not a. I need food to be warm in general. Like I don't do salads because they're cold. Like, and don't tell me you can heat up the chicken and put it in. It's not the same. I would need like cold pasta. I'm just someone that needs my food to be warm. That's it. It doesn't need to be piping, but needs to be warm. But I would be more veg. I wouldn't. I'd quicker grab veg than I would go and grab a banana.
Shannon, 10 years of working in cold, dark gyms without any cooking facilities. Well, you don't get fussy about your food's being warm anymore. If I was fussy about my food's getting warm, I wouldn't be getting eaten. So, like, I just had to get used to that. Like, for me, they would stop and have a meal somewhere. Well, that's unheard of. It only took me till about last year before I started programming, oh, I'm actually taking. Well, sure, I put it on my Instagram story. I think it was even this year. A lunch break, mate. Unheard of. Like, need to.
Oh yeah, I remember you sent me on your schedule and I goes, do you not have a lunch break like scheduled? And you were like, no. And I was like, oh, well, I schedule my lunch in because I'm gonna sit and enjoy it.
Not to be fair, I wouldn't take my own advice on that. That was me very deep in trying to grow a business and like getting carried away with things. Still
And
days.
I was just
I don't, but
right along here. I'm going, hello.
um, your turn.
My turn. Let me see. What one can I give you? Oh, starving yourself helps you lose weight faster.
Oof. I'm torn on this one.
It's a yes and a no, isn't it?
I, I genuinely am so torn because, like, to a large extent, like, if we look at the actual definition of starving yourself, if you are not eating food, and we'll just go with that, will you lose weight? Like, yes, look at anybody who's ever went on hunger strike, they lose weight. Like, you are going to look at what weight's comprised of, though. Water, muscle, and fat. Most people want to lose body fat. But when you starve yourself of all of those things, you're going to lose water. You're going to lose, well, that's hydration as well. You're going to lose fat, but you'll also lose a ton of muscle. And whilst, yes, if the goal is to chase fucking zero on a scale, you will get there by starving yourself and eventually die. I think if the goal is to look your best rather than looking, oh, I'm trying not to go on a big one with this, but it's so hard just to give a yes or no answer. No, yeah, I'm just going to say you will lose weight faster, but will not be the weight that you want to lose. Is what I'd say. I'm not going to go any deeper in there because I'd be there all day.
Yeah, I could see you were ready to just go a lot deeper into it. Like you technically, yes, you will lose weight, but is it something I would advise? No, you'd be a miserable bastard. And no one wants to be miserable as much as they want to lose weight. But yeah, it's a tricky one because you don't want to say yes because you don't want to give the wrong idea out. But on paper, yes, it makes sense. If you starve yourself, you will lose weight quicker, but it's not the ideal way to do it. And I think people are a lot smarter these days to know that's not the right way to do it. And if they haven't figured that out yet, then they're probably very miserable at the moment.
Let's go into an exercise one. Um,
Oh, exercise one.
Cardio is the only way to lose fat.
No, I don't agree. Cardio can be very helpful, but it is not the only way for you to lose fat. Like fat, again, if we're talking body composition, you're looking at dropping your body weight, then it's movement and your calorie deficit. They are your tools. There's no way around it. Now, what you can do to help benefit that, because if you're someone like, say, I don't know, a waitress or a hairdresser and you're on your feet a lot of the day and you're flying about the place, like you're going to be kind of burning more calories than an average office worker who sits on at their desk for 8 hours a day. So like they're moving a lot more than the office worker. Now, where the cardio would probably come into play would be for that office worker because they aren't moving as much. If we get them up doing a step target, if we have them in a calorie deficit, am I going again?
Just your volume seemed to go really, really low there, but it's came back again. It was weird. It was almost like there was someone turning the volume down, even though there wasn't someone turning the volume down. You're fine. It's
Oh, right. I was like, your face, I was like, I've just disappeared off the face of the earth here. Thanks, Mom, for messing with my laptop. Mostly Sandra. Where was I? But yes, the office worker, to get them kind of, if they were looking to drop body fat, then I would be looking at incorporating a bit of cardio for them. Not in massive, I wouldn't be telling them to fucking start running 5Ks every second day, but I would be looking at getting their like overall.
oh, you have gone now completely. Oh, disappeared. Yeah, we have the returning Shannon after slagging our ma's come back with a bit and haunted the laptop.
And gave the most disturbing screenshot of my face ever. I look like a blowfish.
Yeah, I paused it and sent Shannon a video of how she was looking when she was paused. But I think just to take over the points so that you're not interrupted again, cardio, it can help with fat loss, but realistically, unless you're doing hours of it per day, it's not going to have as big an impact as what you think. And the biggest issue with cardio is it can ramp up your hunger levels if you're doing an excess amount of it. It's harder to burn 300 calories than it is to eat 300 calories. Again, slice of pizza will probably do that for you. It's more a case of making sure that like your exercise outside of the gym can be like a driller, almost someone go for more steps because of lower impact and don't drive out hunger than I would necessarily going for cardio. Cardio, though, to be fair, I think you touched on this, like for someone who's not getting a lot of movement, it can help in terms of like a wee bit endorphins, blood flow, sweat, sleeping. All of those things can be massively helpful in terms of like feeling like you're doing something and burning a bit of calories, but in terms of like stripping it back like we did last week in terms of what actually works, probably wouldn't be doing it as the main source of you driving body fat. It's got like a 5 to 10% impact, whereas a lot of people use it to ignore the 90% of the other stuff. Hence the reason I go to PT for an hour twice a week and I'm still not losing weight. And you're going, yes, because there's 90% of the stuff for the rest of the week you ignore.
But sure, you're working out your jaw muscles by chatting shite for that time. Would you not lose weight from that?
A completely different, like, I mean, I could do a podcast on this by myself, but genuinely, like, the arguments I've had with people for in-person PT, and like, bear in mind, I was one for 10 years and actually still got good results, but genuinely the reason that the results are far, and looking at the other side, the results are far better on the online side of things because I'm not in the gym, and to be fair, I think I'm fairly good crack, but I'm not in the gym distracting somebody that has to be there for an hour by talking shite and going, oh, did you see the Arsenal? Like if it was me and Adam, did you see the Arsenal game last night? And then speak for 5 minutes about that between sets. And then all of a sudden it slows down the recovery time that he's got, or sorry, he's getting more recovery time between each set. There's something else in the gym that's being used. Oh, well, maybe just do this instead. And it just becomes this big thing of, we end up, if we look at the session, like speaking for 50 minutes to an hour, and it's actually got very little done. And whilst that feels great for both of us, because I'm like, oh, do you know what? Really connected with Adam. I understand what's going on in his life. I understand the problems he's having at home with Shannon because she's an arsehole. Like, it doesn't really help with like him actually moving forward, which is why it's more of a, I don't want to say therapy. It's really good for people who are new to the gym and have absolutely no idea of exercise. But actually, a lot of the reason that people don't get results isn't because they don't know how to shoulder press with dumbbells, and more so the fact that they don't have consistency, frequency, nutrition, all of the things that we look at outside that. But anyway, rant over about in-person PT for now.
Thanks for summarising what I was going on my big tangent before my mum cut me off like that. What a bitch. Watch now, I'll not
Don't
be able to
insult her again, Shannon. Jesus.
In case anyone doesn't know, my mum is dead and she does like to haunt me from time to time, if you believe in that kind of stuff. Let me pull one up for you. We're going with, let me see from my lovely little list here. Lifting weights will make you bulky.
Oh, fuck. Right, well, I think I'm going on, what age am I now? 33. I started lifting weights when I was 13, so that's a 20 years worth of lifting weights. I've lifted weights consistently, genuinely consistently for 20 years, and I still haven't woke up a day yet and gone, I'm too bulky. Like, I'm still waiting for that, that magicness to happen.
You still look like a little boy.
So last week, I think it was, I was weak and had a dad bod, and now I look like a wee guy with a dad bod who's weak.
No one said you were a wee guy. You've just put that one in yourself. We said that you had a dad bod and you didn't win your powerlifting competition. You're letting your own insecurities come out here.
What did you say 2 minutes ago? Literally 2 minutes ago, what did you say?
A little boy.
A wee guy, so there you go. That's exactly who said it. Don't gaslight me into saying that I didn't hear things that I heard. I don't hear it often anymore, to be fair.
I thought you were going to say being a wee guy.
No, but I don't hear I don't hear that either. But I was going to say I don't hear it often anymore. People actually saying to me, "I want to get big, but not too big," or "I want to put on muscle, but not too much muscle." I think that's, don't want to say dispelled, but I think it's less common for people to say it. But to answer the question, like losing fat is relatively easy and relatively quick. You can see somebody who, like, if they lose body fat, they can literally in 3 months' time look like a completely different person. You see massive changes in them. Very rare, if not impossible, to see somebody who is like trying to put on muscle who in 3 months' time looks that much different. Like you'll see, yeah, little bits here and there, but like building muscles takes fucking years and years. Like genuinely, it takes being progressive in a training program for about 2 years for you to see like a 25% increase in terms of the amount of muscle mass that you have. And like that's massive if you extrapolate that over 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. But like realistically, you're not going to look. It does come down to genetics as well, but like nobody went to the gym for 2 months and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I just got too big all of a sudden. Didn't happen, mate. Did not happen.
Unless they have extra vitamins in their life, but yeah, like I still hear it from time to time. Um, dare I say, kind of older generation still use the idea of it, especially females, of being too bulky or too big, or like still have this concept that like lower weights, more reps, Pilates basically will tone them. So I think it creeps up still, but not as often anymore. And it's a very silly idea. I would love nothing more than to be bulky. I would love for men to fear the living shit out of me when they see me walking down the street. But I also have been training, going to say 10 years now. Uh, and no man's scared of me yet. All right, I'm not fearful yet. I keep saying yet because it's going to happen.
No, not gonna lie, Shannon, you scare me from time to time.
I scare myself sometimes, but like that's normal.
I had this conversation with my barber actually because he was saying that he gets annoyed when people come into him with a picture of somebody that's completely different and go, "Oh, can you make my hair look like that?" I was like, I get people who send me these pictures of somebody who's like in the top 1% of physiques and go, "I want to look like that." And I'm like, you've just told me that you want to do like a home workout a week and don't do more than 3,000 steps and you want to look like fucking Ronnie Coleman. No
Yeah.
problem, mate. Good luck to you.
Or Miley Cyrus. I remember that was a big thing at one point. Everyone was like, I want arms like Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus has great toned arms. And I'm like, yeah, because she works out. Like she's pretty much got a really good, healthy lifestyle, and you still want to go drinking every fucking weekend.
Yeah, no, you do sometimes. Like, yeah, the guy who told me, like, he genuinely sent me a picture of like a bodybuilder who'd been years on the gear and was like, "Oh, do you think that's achievable?" And I was like, "Mate, you're eating Domino's pizza 4 times a week. And I'm not joking when I say this. You're eating Domino's pizza 4 times a week, and you're going to the gym at best 2 to 3 times. No chance. Like, no chance. Even if you flipped that, went unemployed, went to the gym twice a day, every day, and started taking large amounts of gear, there's still probably like a fucking
20 year.
0.05% chance that you'll get anywhere near that. Like, no chance. Like, you're not. A lot of the times that when we look at things, it's often because we've seen somebody that you're like, oh, they are in great shape. And it's like, but they didn't wake up like that one day. There's lots of different factors. And I think, yes, the older generation we've had, like the people you have seen when it comes to health and fitness would have been in front cover of magazines or in the newspaper and stuff like that. So they're always going to be the fucking upper echelons of how things look. Nowadays it's Instagram. It's like you see what gets to me, and I've seen it for a while. It's not my algorithm anymore because I on purposely just skip by them. But it's like when you seen 20-year-olds who have like 40 kilos of muscle on them and like they're going, oh, 20-year-old natural. I'm like, there's fucking nothing natural about you, mate. Like your fucking shoulders the size of my head, like just shoulder caps bulging out to here and going, you've got a 200 kilo bench press. 20-year-olds like you didn't exist fucking 30 years ago. So, yeah.
But they've been in the gym since they're 15, like Kyle. Clearly they're natural.
I was in the gym since I was 15. It took me till I was about 27 to see a shoulder cap. I'm like, Jesus, my 27th birthday, I woke up and went, there's 15 years worth of training. I can see a wee bit of definition here. Like, No,
Oh, sick.
no. We have time for one more before we need to wrap this up. So,
I'll let you do the final one.
oh, you're so good to me.
I'm so nice.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh, mm, oh, I'm torn between two of them. So, thin people have faster metabolisms.
For a second there, I had to process because I thought you said Finn people. And I was just thinking of Wee Finn. And I was like, what?
Okay, skinny people.
Tin. Skinny people have.
Oh, whoa, whoa. This is what I love. This is a conversation now. This is what I love about Irish people who just tried to correct me. So you're giving out to me because I said Finn and it sounds like my child, Finn. You just tried to correct me by saying tin as in like a fucking tin roof or a tin of beans. Like you've missed out a H there completely. Like the self awareness that some Irish people have. Yes, go on, carry on with your tin.
Tin.
Tell me what
Tin.
tell me what tin
Tree.
people tell me what. Yeah, it's when people try to say that I say the number three wrong, which they're right. I say it free as in like it's completely free of charge, but you say tree as in like it's a fucking tree outside. So the big difference is, see when you say tin, I don't correct you, pal. I just like, yeah, that's your accent. You carry on.
Well, I
Let
wasn't correcting you. It was the way I heard it myself that I was like, he's definitely not saying Finn to me. Is my internet being ropey? But you got all up on your high horse and defensive, like you always do, Mr. Watson. So anyway, skinny people have better metabolisms. Um, that is. Oh,
I'm just
I'm
going back.
going to.
I'm going to
I had
battle.
to stretch there. Ah, that I'm getting yes and no because like I used to constantly compare myself when I was younger to my tin friends. And my tin friends, I mean like they could walk in and fucking model. They were like fucking size two galore, not naturally. There was nothing that they were doing differently to me. They were just naturally thinner than me. And like we could get a Chinese and they'd pack it back, no bother. And I'd eat it as well. And lo and behold, I was getting chunkier, and those girls weren't. It's it's your genes. I think it comes down to a lot of the time as well. Like I think there's a lot of pressure on metabolism, trying to quick in your metabolism, and there's a lot of marketing in that. But I think it just generally comes back to your overall genes and how you're built as an individual and how quickly you can digest food more than an actual, you know, a sales on it, if that makes sense.
I like okay, so I'm going. I'll utilize science here. So
Yeah, you'll use your science on it.
your genetics account for about 40 to 60% of your results. So a large part of it you can blame your parents for how you start off. I heard a great quote like how you are born. When you're born, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your decisions. So I think when it, oh, I know.
That's a great one.
Oh, it is great, isn't it? I'm going to use it somewhere,
Yeah.
but I'm like, oh, powerful. I heard that on a Sunday morning when I was scrolling my phone in bed, procrastinating. But yeah, it's powerful. Anyway, so I think when we look at like your metabolism, it does have a factor. Some people will generally burn a little bit more calories than others. Some people are more likely to store fat than others. Some people are more easy to build muscle like than others. Like you, you do have different like subsets of like genetics that make a difference. However, the issue alongside that is you're also looking at the other 50 to 60% that you can control, and you're not going to like to hear it. But if you're carrying more weight, you actually do burn more calories, and with that, your metabolic rate, regardless, will be at a higher set point. So, to answer the question, yes, you can actually eat more calories as the bigger person and you should be able to lose more weight. There is also the factors of smaller people, they don't need to maintain as much, so they often eat less. And you might see, like, again, you use an example there, but you might see smaller people, yes, they can have a fucking same amount of Domino's pizza that you have, but that's more so because they're doing it out of enjoyment. But you're also not looking at the fact that sometimes those slender, smaller people are moving a lot. If you look at their fidgeting, they fidget a lot. They like are very animated in their expressions. They burn lots of calories by like moving. I've got two guys right now who we're trying to put on, like I've got a lot of people that are trying to put on weight, but I've got two guys specifically that are trying to put on weight who struggle for years. And like the biggest thing that they're struggling with is both of them do upwards of 20,000 steps per day. They work in manual labour jobs. So you could look at them and go, oh, he can eat whatever he wants. And going, well, I can to a large extent. If you see him eating a pizza or Chinese a couple of times a night, a couple of times a week, they can, because they're also burning 4,000
a
day. Yeah, and the
than
big,
you, who's probably sitting in the office doing nothing.
yeah. So,
And that would have been when I come back to my friend there. My friend was a nurse and I was working in an office.
yeah.
Yeah, I was the one going to the gym and she wasn't. So there you have it.
Anytime somebody brings up an example, I'll be like, right, show me what your lifestyle factors look like. Show me what their lifestyle factors look like. Sit down. So, like
and I am sitting down.
Yeah, sat down. I was going to say you don't need to. Yeah, stay seated. Yeah,
She's.
Like, to be fair, there's been times in my life, like even now, I'm sitting in an office, I'm a parent, I went from working on a gym floor at one point that had 3 different floors to it, and I was working 12-hour shifts, easily getting 17, 18,000 steps. I was taking 3 classes a day sometimes, plus my own training, sometimes cycling to work. I'm like, easily was burning 5,000 calories a day. And at the time, I genuinely thought I could eat whatever I want, and exercise was the thing. I was just telling my clients that, but then some of them would get results and some of them wouldn't. And it's like, it's those factors that you're going, I genuinely believed at the time that I could eat whatever I want as long as I trained well. I'm like, it was nothing to do with my training. It was to do with the fact that I was literally covering 20,000 steps a day. I was cycling to and from work. I was taking classes, like all of those things. So the awareness thing as well is just that there is a genuine significant difference if you're doing no steps per day versus someone who's even doing 10,000 steps per day. And it's not that 10,000 is magical, but like, it's like there's a difference between you doing 2,000 steps a day and 8,000 steps a day. Like, the difference in calories you're burning, the things that you'll get away with on a week to week basis is massive. Like, the last part of this example, when I was over here and I briefly came out of fitness and went into an office job, in the first 3 months I was there, I put on 3 kilos. It was a kilo a month, every month. And there was nothing that changed with my training and nothing that changed with anything else, even nutrition. Well, very little that changed. The only big thing was I wasn't moving anymore. I'd went from doing 14, 15,000 steps a day to literally 2 to 4. And then even when I was trying to force it, I was getting maybe 6 or 8. So, like, that's the big difference in terms of, like, yeah, what moves. So to summarize that part of it, let's see how much you move, let's see how much you're consuming, let's see how much you're training, and once you put those things together, I think that you'll find that your metabolism isn't as broken as what you think once you get the data out.
Yeah. And you can't make it go quicker with any tablets.
It's an argument. There is what's it called, clenbuterol, which is an illegal drug that you can use as a fat burner. That, yes, you could theoretically speed it up. Oh, my internet is unstable. Wow, Jesus, it's all happening today.
Or maybe it was you that went that time.
Oh, it absolutely wasn't me. Don't you try and play the Uno reverse card.
Get off that high horse, Mr. Watson.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't even insult your man. She's here at me. Jesus. Right, we're wrapping up. Shannon, it's Shannon_biofitness. I am Kyle_biofitness. Thank you for coming along, listening, and yeah.
Thank you, Dave and Toby, for the tunes.
Well done, Shannon. Almost forgot.
Yeah, and we get my bye.